Mediterranean lentil soup, easy and quick. Hi everyone, welcome to Viva la kitchen. Today we're going to be making a Mediterranean lentil soup. This is a classic dish in all of the Mediterranean region, as well as the Middle East, a lot of areas of India, and this is absolutely healthy and easy to make at home. So let's see what those ingredients are. So as you can see, the ingredients are very simple, and what's nice about this dish is that if you don't have some of the ingredients, it's okay. You can easily substitute them and use different ingredients. And what's great is also if you're vegetarian or you're vegan, this is the perfect dish. Or if you're not, you could always add a little bit of sausage or ham. So there's a lot of different variations on how you can cook this, but today we're going to be doing this Mediterranean style. So the first step is we're going to want to go ahead and boil our water. Once that water starts to boil, we're going to go ahead and add our lentils. And those lentils will usually take about 15 to 20 minutes to cook. And so that's why we want to make sure we get the lentils in first. I always recommend to soak or rinse those lentils because sometimes they're a little bit dirty and they don't really come that clean. So you want to make sure you give them a rinse before you cook them. Now, as we have our lentils cooking, that's when you're going to be wanting to do your prep. So the prep for this dish is very simple. Essentially, you're going to want to have some spinach and some carrots. The carrots, you can just go ahead and chop them however you'd like. And then you're also going to want to chop some onion and tomato. Again, the smaller you chop, the easier and quicker it cooks. So I always recommend to go for that, smaller pieces. And then you're going to want to also include garbanzo beans. If you don't have garbanzo beans, that's fine, but those usually come in a can ready to go. And I also like to add a touch of frozen green peas, but again, if you don't have that, that's also optional. So as we go ahead and get these lentils cooking, this is when you're going to want to go ahead and prepare the rest of the ingredients. So it's been 5 minutes since we've had those lentils cooking, and by now I'm sure you already did all of your prep. So now what we're going to want to go ahead and do is we're going to want to get a smaller pan and we're going to want to heat it up with a little bit of oil. It could be any type of oil that you have at home, just enough so that we can cook the onion and the tomato. So as you can see, when you're heating up the oil, go ahead and check on the lentils. Sometimes as they're boiling on high heat, the water tends to overflow and you don't want to have that mess to clean up or have the water spilling and then having that little sizzle. So just always kind of monitor it as you're going with the other steps. In fact, we'll leave it uncovered just for now. So as we have this oil, we're going to want to go ahead and add in our onions. And we're just going to want the onion to cook a little bit, just 2 minutes. Keep an eye on it, give it a little saute, stir. So after your 2 minutes, then you're going to want to go ahead and incorporate the tomato. Give it a nice little stir. And as you've got that cooking, we're also going to want to add in some garlic powder. If you don't have garlic powder, garlic salt is fine. And after about a minute, then we're going to want to add our tomato sauce. Now what we're going to do is we're going to want to go ahead and add that sauce into the lentils as the lentils continue to cook. So now that it's been 10 minutes since our lentils along with the sauce, everything has been cooking, we're going to want to go ahead and add in our carrots. at this point, we're also gonna wanna go ahead and add in our remaining spices. So the spices is what truly gives it that Mediterranean taste. If you don't have the spices, it's completely fine to leave it as is and just continue on with the rest of the process. But again, if you do have paprika and a little bit of turmeric at home, it makes a perfect addition. It truly gives the soup a nice boost and also more nutritional value, since both of those spices are very healthy. And we're gonna wanna cover it and let it cook for another 2 minutes. So after those 2 minutes, what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna go ahead and add in our salt, vegetable stock, whatever you like to give seasoning to your broth. I personally like to use Vegesal, and I think I've mentioned it in a few of the other videos. This is very good because it's, again, pretty healthy and it's very easy. Gives a nice seasoning to the broth. But if you don't have this at home, it's okay. You can even use garlic salt, or you can use, again, that little vegetable stock bouillon, anything that kind of will give that soup a little bit more taste. And last but not least, we're gonna wanna go ahead and incorporate our garbanzo beans that were already ready. Our peas, frozen peas. And we'll let that rest for a minute or 2. So it's been about a minute. Let's check our soup. Wow, it's looking great. Look at that. It's looking so nice and healthy. I can see the spices. It's colorful, vibrant, and it's gonna be delicious. So this is where I always like to taste my soup, just in case I need to add in a little bit more spice. I recommend you do the same. We all have different tastes, so it's not a bad idea to see how this is going. Absolutely delicious. Or as we would say in French, en français, c'est très bien. Très bien. So now we're gonna wanna go ahead and turn off the stove. And last but not least, let's add our spinach. And as you can see, we're finished. We're gonna go ahead and cover this, and we'll let it rest for a minute. And there you have it, quick, healthy, and easy Mediterranean lentil soup. It smells delicious, and I know it's gonna be great. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, ring that bell, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Thank you so much. Enjoy.